Well, I'm back from Mexico now. I'm really excited that you guys finally got to see where I come from and my house and my family. Well, part of my family, about half of them. You still haven't met my dad yet, but I'm excited that you guys got to see what you did see. But there's still so much to show you. I go down so often, so I'm gonna be taking the vlog camera every time, and little by little, I'm gonna show you guys more and more, and more explanations, and so you guys can really understand my background. Kind of pisses me off though, because while I was there I couldn't upload any videos because of the terrible Wi-Fi service, and my streak died. I was like 12 or 13 days deep and I wanted to go 30 days so bad because I finally got into vlogging. I'm finally starting to like it, and I finally started to pick up some momentum, and I get to Mexico, film some cool vlogs, and I can't even upload them until 3 days later when I get back. But they're up now, and then to continue the streak. So you guys seem to be super curious about where I come from and asking me a lot of interesting questions, like why is everybody so white and speaks English in Mexico, in this town that I come from? And I could easily explain that to you, but I need to go back to the house because I'm dying right now and sweating, and I need water, and I'm starting to get a heat stroke, and it's making me angry. So bear with me, give me a second. Oh my god, that feels better. Holy crap, okay. Whatever. Oh man, it's too hot in this city. I'm just gonna walk up to my room and finish it off in there. Alright, so where do I begin? I'm gonna try to keep this short as to why we're white Mexicans living in Mexico and speak English. Well, for one, everyone there also speaks Spanish. They all go to, we all went to Spanish schools. We have a lot of friends that speak Spanish. We talk Spanish to each other a lot of the times. But certain people, like at that wedding, for example, the wedding was in English because the people that were getting married they're mainly English speakers. They also know Spanish, but they didn't want the wedding to be in Spanish. I didn't record the bride's mom speaking, but like she gave her whole speech in Spanish. But basically, I'd have to go back like over 100 years. My grandpa was actually one of the founders of this town, and the way it started was they branched off of the Mormon Church, and they migrated down to Mexico because of their beliefs and whatnot, and they wanted to change a few things about the Mormon Church and start their own little movement, and so they moved down to this town in Mexico. So in the beginning, my grandpa and his brothers and cousins and everyone that followed him down to start this town, they obviously struggled a lot at first because they built it from scratch. Now many people in this town are multimillionaires because of the agriculture, growing pecan trees and farming and all of that. The town's very, very successful now, but I kind of feel like the religion died a little bit, and now it's just a giant town where everyone knows everybody. Most people are related to each other because the original belief was to have huge families. And like, you guys think me having 6 siblings, you know, is a lot. Like, that's nothing compared to a lot of my relatives. Like, I have tons of cousins and uncles and just, I have a big family. To this day though, even though the religion isn't as strong as it used to be, everyone still likes the idea of having large families. You know, on average, a couple will get married and have 10 kids, which I still think is pretty crazy. I don't want that big of a family, but they still do it to this day. Before I moved to where I live now, my house that I showed you guys in the last vlog, I was living in what's called Quintana Roo. It's like an hour and a half away from Cancun, and that's where I was born, and that's where a lot of our people have lived before from this town. But everyone mostly moved out of there and moved back to this area. We like to stay together. We work together a lot. We help each other out. And everyone's really inspired to keep growing the town. And that's why I feel so connected to that town. I do feel deep down that I'd like to contribute to it. One of my goals is to get into agriculture there and have investments there. I want to have a house there. That may be even where I want to raise my kids, but I'm not totally sure about that. I'm not thinking about that too much right now. But yeah, that's a short story as to why in that area we're all white Mexicans for the most part. I'm Mexican because my dad is Mexican and my grandpa is full Mexican. My dad's pretty much full Mexican, and my mom has Mexican blood in her, but her parents were white skinned people. But not everybody there is Mexican or has Mexican parents, but they all do speak Spanish because we live in a Mexican town, and we work with the Mexicans nearby, in towns nearby. We do business with them, and we put ourselves with them and wanted to bond with them and relate with them. It's a little strange, isn't it, when you really think about it, but that's where I'm from. A lot of you were also wondering where my dad is, and we've moved around a lot of our lives, lived in all kinds of places growing up. I lived half my life in Mexico, but the other half was me living in Kansas. That's where I met Dawson. I lived in San Diego as a kid, Denver for years, North Dakota, and that's currently where my dad is still at. He's trying to finish up his construction jobs, trying to finish up the house in Mexico. He's mainly working on that shop that I showed you guys in the last vlog. But that's kind of his last project, and the house will be completely done. His goal is to move down there now, and my mom and my sisters were all living up there in North Dakota for a while with him, and then he sent her down to start running the place so that it can be ready for him to just all move down and my parents can live happily ever after together. But my mom does go back and forth. They see each other often. I'm sure it is difficult for them, but they have a goal. They know what they're after. They know what they're doing. And my dad wants to end up in Mexico with my mom, of course. So yeah, I figured I'd give you guys a brief explanation about those two things. I'll definitely go into more detail about my town and where I'm from as I keep vlogging, as I make more trips down there. I'll reveal more things, but there's so much to say about it that I can't do it all in one video. So little by little, I'm going to be telling you guys about my history and my family's history. I think you'll find it pretty interesting, though. I find it interesting. It's crazy to me because I grew up half a life in my states. I feel like I have a mindset in both worlds. Completely off the subject, I'm going to release that Mrs. Still Your Man video soon. That's going to be the next video I upload most likely. Cody's out of town, my cameraman. He's in Idaho with his family. He's not going to be here till July 11th. So for now, the only cameraman I have is Chris, and I don't know how often we're going to be filming, but I'll at least try to release this video and one more before Cody gets back. Until then, I'm going to just be uploading every day on this channel. Yeah, it's really hard right now with the heat and school being out of session. I'm not going to be going to California for a little bit, so I can't really film there. But I don't want to keep uploading such simple ideas. The only reason I do that right now, my last 3 videos have been so simple, is because I don't want to waste my best ideas in the wrong setting. It's too hot right now to film outdoors, and there's nobody outdoors here. Nobody wants to be outside. You can't film that great videos in a mall or on the college campuses because it's summer break, and at the mall there's too much background noise and you get caught too often. And I'm just trying to release videos so I can keep up the consistency, and I don't want my momentum to die again, so I have to just keep uploading mediocre ideas, in my opinion, so that when I'm ready, when the temperature goes down a little bit and school's back in session, I could drop all my bangers. So I'm excited about that. Bear with me. They're coming. But I think you guys will like Mrs. Still Your Man. I feel like that was a pretty good video. I filmed that before school's out of session. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this explanation / update video. I'm going to keep uploading daily. I really want to film a Getting Personal with Chris DeFalco today. I'm going to see if he wants to do that. If he does, I'm going to upload that tomorrow. If not, I'm still going to do it soon. But I don't want the daily upload streak to die. anymore, not at all. I don't know how I'm going to do it when I go back to Mexico, but I got to figure it out somehow. If I have to drive an hour away to get good service to upload these vlogs, then I'll do it, but it's going to be a little harder. But thank you guys so much for watching and supporting and subscribing, and I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.